Arata is a royalist wimp whose crush was stolen from him for being a shy loser. However, his no-aim life takes a turn when he discovered that he's adopted, and his 5 sisters are not related. So now he can clap them with no fear of Alabama allegations. Nice. In an upper-class area of Tokyo, in a mansion resides a brilliant self-made entrepreneur, and because that man loves to clap, he has 7 children living there, all loving each other the Alabama way called the Shiunji family. The oldest brother, Arata, asks his younger brother, Shion, for some tips on how to bag a baddie for him to clap, but Shion tells Arata that he can't help him. Shion asks him about the girl he likes, and Arata reminds him that he only finds her cute, not clappable. It confused Shion how Arata, the heir to the Shiunji family, is unable to bag any baddie, but Arata tells him that he's having difficulty finding love because of his disbelief in destiny. Just then their 5 sisters, Ouka, Kotono, Banri, Minami, and Seiha, pop up suspecting these 2 brothers to be talking about girls, but she encounters saying how Arata was actually curious about Ouka's 3 sizes. It pisses her off, so Ouka orders their dog to attack Arata, and when it does start biting him, the sisters tell him that it's karma for creeping on his sisters. Arata tells them how he will never be interested in his own sisters, but Seiha reminds him about the incident with Kono. He assures them that it was a misunderstanding, and Banri supports his statement, saying how it's normal for boys like him to be curious about his own sister's plots. But C warns them that sibling relationships might create taboo babies. Meanwhile, Minami believes that Arata is actually a cool dude, but when he tries to thank her, she punches him hard, saying how her reflexes are alert after playing Street Fighter, which confuses the others with how her reflexes work. Just then, Ouka reminds the boys about Kotono's upcoming birthday, and while Shion can attend it, Arita tells them that he has other plans. But when Kotono asks him if he can come, Arata assures her that he will be there. On their way to school, people take notice of the sisters, saying how much of a jackpot it is for all 5 sisters to be beautiful, and that the brothers are lucky to be living in the same house with them. However, at school, Arata vents to Shion how the reality is different, as the brothers are always on the receiving end of punishments compared to the sisters, and that their father always took the sisters' side. Cheon understands people's idea, and seeing how they get to live with Banri, who is the gentle hottie, Seiha, who is the cute genius, Minami, who is a future Olympic athlete, Ouka, who is a future council president, and Kotono, who is a pure and beautiful being who needs to be protected. However, unlike how others see those girls as angels, Arata can only see them as his devilish sisters. But when Shion reminds him of his incident with Kotono, where she told Arata she liked him, Arata was forced to decline her Alabama feelings. Just then, through the window, Arata sees the girl he likes, Lala. And when Shion sees her, he understands how Arata's childhood scars from the sisters made him passive with girls. Back home, Arata is contemplating whether he should send a friend request to Lala, and it annoys him how Shion was right about him being passive with girls. Just then, Ouka walks in and asks him to share his school notes with her. She thanks him as her twin for the notes, but he reminds her that they are fraternal twins. While she's writing down the notes, Arata can't help but notice her plots. And when he tells her that she's dressed to open, she tells him to control his gaze from being too Alabama. Just then, she asks him about the girl he likes. And while flustered, he reveals that it's Lala, which she recognizes. She tells him that she's in the same committee as Lala and offers to hook him up with her, but he stops her from doing so. He tells her that he has his ways of rising girls, saying how it's none of her business. And after hearing that, Ouka gets upset and leaves the room. Meanwhile, Kotono is in her room looking at her family picture, but she can't help but keep staring at Arata. Days heading to Kotono's birthday, Arata thinks hard about the nature of destiny, questioning what he would be if he weren't a brother to the 5 sisters. But on his thoughtful walk, he sees Lala with a man he assumes as her baby daddy, which gives Arata a heartbreak. On the weekend, fully dripped out, Arata exits his room for Kotono's birthday party. And on his way there, he runs into Ouka, who compliments him on his outfit choice. Then the siblings gather around the dining table, awaiting their father. But just then, an argument starts. Ouka finds out how Minami lost the AirPods Ouka lent her, and they start calling each other names, wishing they were never siblings. While the others can only watch, Arta has had enough and orders them to stop. He reminds them how they will always be siblings, and the others smile at him, showing approval towards his short speech. Then their father Koname shows up, and they start the party. But before they make a toast for Kotono's birthday, Konami tells them that he has an announcement. To everyone's shock, Konami informs them that they are not actually siblings. And while he will always love all of them like his own, the truth is they are all adopted. He states that while Minami and Shion are really twins, the rest are not. and he's telling them this truth because of a promise he made to their mother years ago. He asks that they continue the party, but while dinner is being served, every single one of them is still in shock over the life-changing news they just received. Later, the siblings gather in a room, and when their maid is about to serve them tea, Banri sends her away, asking for privacy. While the others are tense, Minami is still joyful, even though her life has just changed, and they credit it to her having their father's bright personality. Ouka expresses how she feels cheated, believing that their father could have said it earlier, but C disagrees and thinks that Kotono's birthday was the perfect moment as it was their father's promise to their mother. Being the oldest, they ask Banri if she remembers anything about her past when they were first adopted. And while she does recall something, she refuses to share it with them, saying how it's unimportant. She assures them all that what's important is that they love each other, and that they will always be siblings. They applaud her for the speech, which lifts their mood, and they all head to bed. But while everyone is walking back to their rooms, Arata is still there, contemplating what just happened. Back in his room, Arata continues thinking about what just happened, and to get his mind off it, he goes to take a bath. He sees someone's plot armor, but ignores it and goes in. However, he makes eye contact with Kotono, who's taking a bath, and after seeing each other's assets, Arata runs away, apologizing to Kotono. Instead of being upset, Kotono asks Arata, as his brother, to wash her back. And just like old times, he does what she asks, which she enjoys, while he tells her to scrub her own back. She admits that she likes it when he is the one who washes her back. Meanwhile, Ouka is chilling in the kitchen when Shai joins her. After what just happened, Ouka asks Shion if Arata said anything, saying how it's affecting Ouka heavily to find out that Arata is not her fraternal twin. And Shion assures her that Arata feels the same way. As the heir to the Shiunji family, Arata has a responsibility as the big brother to all of them. But unbeknownst to them both, in the bathroom, he is getting a soft hug in the back from Kotono. Meanwhile, Shion tells Ouka how since they aren't siblings, they are all legally allowed to marry each other. She knows that Shion is telling the truth. She orders Shion to get Arata to stop staring at her plots, but Shion tries to excuse his former brother, saying how Arata is just like any hormonal young man. She then asks Shion what exactly happened between Arata and Kotono in the past, and while Shion knows what it is, he already promised to Arata to keep it a secret. But Ouka tells Shion, while the others like to tease Arata about that incident, they all know how Arata is not a creep who would jump his own sister. After hearing that, Shai tells Ouka the truth, and this person he knows, and Arata exits the room saying happy birthday, and leaving Kotono wishing that Arata responded to her feelings. Unbeknownst to Arata, when he steps out of the bathroom, someone is watching him. Then he heads to his room thinking if Kotono did what she did because of what happened. Suspects that after knowing that they are not actual siblings, Kotono loses all of her restraints. She praises him for handling the situation properly, but to ensure that he won't fold to his own sister's advances, she had to make sure that he doesn't want to develop the plots with them. He asks her if she doesn't have any other ways aside from getting on top of him, and Za tells him that since she Banri to cry, demanding him to say that he likes them, but he refuses and gets flustered. Then they head to school and joined by Shion. They watch as other dudes ogle over their sisters, which makes Shion wonder how they would react if they knew that they're not actually siblings, as her grades are all failing, as it turns out. While Minami is the most athletic among the siblings, she's also the biggest. As the big bro, Arata declares that he will tutor her. When Arata is busy explaining something, he doesn't see that Minami is distracted and has picked a song for her to sing. And when she tries to solve the questions by herself, it ends with her answering everything wrong. However, she doesn't get bothered by how dumb she is and starts singing horribly. But she's also a good sister. She teases Arata, saying how, since he's not actually her big brother, she gets to treat him like her senpai. But Arita tells her not to say that out loud. However, Minami states that what's important is the bond they created for all their life, where he knows who he really is. So, he shouldn't feel sad not being able to bag the girl he likes. He asks her how she knows about Lala, and Minami reveals that Ouka told her, which makes Arata realize how much of a blabbermouth Ouka is, which ends their previous fight in peace. The next morning after waking up, Arata brushes his teeth as usual, thinking about what Kotono did the other day, when he steps out of the bathroom for still remembering the bathroom incident. And he gets surprised by her presence. When he calls her name, she has to be called Sai-chan, which was what she told him to call her. And when he does call her that, she gets mildly satisfied. But while he's not worried as he holds no feelings for her, asks how hot Arata really is, saying how they would love to date him and be his baby mama. However, Ouka tells them that it's a bad idea, as she believes that Arata is a knobhead who can't bag a baddie. But when they see the place's mascot, Ouka and Manami rush him, wanting to take a picture. Manami tells the others that she's getting hungry. And after hearing that, Banri asks Arata to come with her to help her get food. Moments later, the two of them get food for the others. But when they look at the mascot, they are no longer there, leaving Arata and Banri with the food. Arata thinks that they are on a ride, and he thinks to himself how, despite Banri's older sister's charm, she always makes Arata nervous. He notices how when he tries to remind her that he is her brother, she tells him that nobody there knows that they are siblings, so they should just enjoy the moment. When Arata blushes even harder at her plump, instead of pulling away, because of Banri, just then she offers him to touch her melons as a treat, and he walking up the stairs. Arata can't help but stare at the lovely view in front of him, and he falls over the stairs, which makes him feel completely embarrassed. She offers him her hand as help, and when he accepts her offer, she calls him cute. Then, the two of them enjoy their private date. All the while, the others are doing the same. However, Arata keeps trying to call, and after the many attempts, he manages to contact Shion, who informs him where they are. However, they are far from each other, so they decide to just have fun. The girls talk about how they know how Banri will tease Arata heavily, making him wish they were never siblings. When she takes a bite of the churros, he gets curious about how she feels about their father's announcement, so he asked her straight up. She expresses how, while she was shocked at first, she wanted to know details, and Arata sees just how much she thought about it. She asks him what's on his mind, and when he tells her how he doesn't want their relationship as siblings to change, Banri's eyes glitter, saying how adorable he is, and being the coolest older sister anyone could ask for. Suddenly, a stupid little girl pops up with drinks and she slips, causing gets him wet. The stupid little girl apologizes, but Arata warmly tells her that it's okay. Banri gets worried for him, telling him that he shouldn't have done that. But just like her, Arata expresses how he will protect them all alongside her as her little brother. It rises up Banri, making her realize just how much of a man Arata turns out to be. They continue to the next ride, and on their walk there, Banri asks to hold Arata's hand. When he asks why, she grabs it and night. While they're playing around at the bridge, acting like princesses, the boys and Koto go to the toilet. But Seiya sees this as a chance to inform the others about what happened between Kotono and Arata. After informing them, they can't believe that Kotono has the guts to cling on to Arata with her plots out. And they ask C what Arata did. She informs them that, like a good brother, Arata talked Kotono down and stopped her advances. She assures them that Arata has no degenerate desires for his sisters after Seiya herself tested it out. When they ask her how, she gave Kotono the impulse to want to have Arata's taboo babies. Banri calms them down, saying that they shouldn't jump to any conclusions yet. She reveals that she talked with their father after his announcement, and when they ask her what she talked about, she tells them that she wanted to find out her background, and finds that as an orphan, they never knew Banri's parents' whereabouts, or who they are. She suggests that they should keep it low profile and keep an eye on them, which everyone agrees to. Then, on their way to the merchandise store, some of the girls are fired up, wanting to get themselves action figures, see her act normal, like usual. He knows how their father's announcement took them all by surprise, but at that moment, a fireworks show starts, and they enjoy it together as siblings. Next week, we will be back with a new recap of the latest episode. Subscribe so you don't miss the next video.